683 show.
Welcome everyone to this week on the 6873 show. Today we are continuing with stupid challenges and the lives that it has cost. So please join us. I think it's going to be an interesting talk. My name is Rin. The other hosts of the show, of course, are...
I'm Rossi, and the lovely lady here is...
I'm Toki. Right next to me, the goofball.
Ion, and the little fish stick over here.
Fish. Healed.
Fish. So, yeah, as you already know, we have talked about challenges for the past 3 or so episodes, both on the Fight for Females and on here as well. This time, we're gonna take it down, and unfortunately, it's gonna get a little more darker. What we're going to talk about today is actually the people who got hurt or died because of an online challenge. And I will say, a lot of them have been showed on TikTok, not the gory details. Some of them on YouTube. You can't blame the social media for showing this, you can blame the people that put them up. So, let's get started. I don't know who wants to start first. Anyone?
Well, I had a couple, just one of the things too is, a question I have is, what the hell happened to common sense? What the hell happened to thinking for yourself? Having basic
It died with a
cognitive
bit for
reasoning?
snowflakes.
I swear, I mean, because someone posts a stupid challenge that they haven't even done or whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, we could die, but let's do it because we can get view counts. I was watching, in fact, this morning I was watching on some of these that have gone wrong, and actually reading some of the news articles and stuff like that, and someone posted on a TikTok, that new challenge, it'd be so cool if people start jumping off the London Bridge for starters, and then start some other bridges, and all of a sudden you just see this huge influx of people going and jumping off the bloody London Bridge, claiming lives, stuff like that. And there was even a few here in the States that were jumping off bridges into the water and subsequently drowning to death.
And trust me, you do not want to swim in that water.
Oh,
You've got to
hell
remember
no.
that water actually used to be the sewage system. Back in original London times, that was where all the sewage waste used to go through. That
Now
water
where
is
you get all your
not clean.
vitamins and minerals.
Oh, God.
Well, I
Please
was
don't tell
watching
me
this
you did
one.
the toilet licking challenge.
Possibly.
Beautiful day.
Most likely.
Well,
Definitely.
well, the thing
Wait, what?
is, I mean, you have someone who literally put up a
He drinks
TikTok,
out of the toilet.
no idea, what even in the ramifications that people are actually going to be doing this. It's like he challenged people, and yet people are so gullible that they're literally going to throw themselves off a bridge into the water and get caught in a rip and drown.
Yeah.
Well, I was even watching this other one. In fact, there was a news article that this person very nearly died because there was this challenge called back in the day, there used to be this game called Fruit Ninja. It was a really fun little, game you'd get on your cell phone. And all of a sudden, let's make Fruit Ninja real. So you get these, it challenge you to buy a brand new set of katanas and stuff like that. Very sharp, very, very, very sharp swords. And exactly. Like this, basically a very large razor blade, and then people will throw fruit at them. I mean, if you have no experience with a sword, especially a sword like a katana, there's one caught it on video. In fact, even posted it, throwing fruit, and of course had no idea how to handle a sword in the first place. Cut off his hand, very nearly bled to death right there.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
people
it's
stop
just-
thinking
yeah, people stop thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And
One of the challenges I want to talk about is actually the skull breaking challenge, and yes, that's what it's called. Basically, you're 3 people, and the 2 on the sides, actually, I don't know if that's true, but the 2 on the sides jump first, and then the one in the middle jumps, and the other 2 sweeps both their legs away underneath that person that's jumping. Mind you, they're well in the air while jumping. And literally you see people falling flat on face,
oh dear Lord.
and these are kids we're talking about. I don't remember if it was in the States or whatnot, but there was a 13-year-old boy this happened to in school, falling back over, literally almost cracked his skull, and it sent him into daily seizures because of a stupid
There was
challenge.
wasn't there? I think it was I can't remember. It was a 16-year-old girl from Brazil who actually died from it because she had that much of a head trauma that she died in hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But wasn't it something along the lines of it was the 3 people, the 2 on the end were in on it, but the one in the middle wasn't, or something, and they were pretending to do a new dance routine. That was the general consensus
it went
I
that
understood
far
of it.
too. Yeah.
Well, there was
went that far
one
too.
that was, I think it was on the same lines as that challenge, and they wound up actually killing this one girl, and the 2 other girls that were in on it as part of a challenge were literally convicted as for murder.
You're not talking about the what's his name?
Was it the
I
blackout
think we
challenge?
talked about. No, not the blackout challenge. Slenderman. Kind of sounds
Slenderman
like
challenge?
that one. But it's not a challenge though. But they thought they could summon Slenderman.
Yeah, well, this one here was like the head cracking one, or the skull cracking, and they were literally convicted of murder because they did this one challenge on a TikTok and wound up killing the other girl, and they went bye-bye. And the bad thing is, I think they're only like 14.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The second one I want to refer to, it's also kind of like down the line, is the chokeout challenge. A lot of people have done this, and you don't understand how you can actually fall, like really fall so badly that you break your neck or whatnot. Now, this 10-year-old girl didn't break her neck, but she did the challenge where you literally choke yourself out to experience a euphoria, which I don't fucking get, of near-death experience or a near blackout experience.
Was it the
Unfortunately,
autoerotic asphyxiation? Or
no.
was it something else?
Well, not really like that. This was more amongst younger generations, like 13 down. It was just having that near blackout thing. Unfortunately, this 10-year-old did it, and nobody was home. And they found her later. She had passed away. 10 years. 10-year-old child. Somebody's baby girl. Come on, people, get a goddamn grip. Not just the grown-ups that's supposed to protect their children. There's only so much as a parent you can do. You really try, and I know, like, you trust your daughter with this kind of stuff. That she's not gonna go out and be that stupid. But
it does the same. As a dad.
Yeah.
Just
The other thing too is you actually do monitor a lot of, you keep her a lot of off the social medias, which there are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. my daughter's slowly going into social media, but I like to hope that we've given her enough knowledge and information to not be stupid with it. But it does worry
Yeah.
me as a parent, seeing that her online, and it's sort of like I've got to have the trust in her. You have got to do that, and I do my best to monitor and check what's going on, what's on there, and that, but also without being too invasive.
Yeah. It's that fine
Well, if a
balance
bitch comes on
right
VR
there.
and sees us lot.
You probably want to one day. Unless her cringe ass dad is on. No, but what I'm saying is it's that fine hair up to the parents themselves. It's also for the kids to think, okay, this is dangerous. I've seen videos of it. I know people has gotten hurt. Why would I want to get hurt? I know it's the exciting thing, like, oh, this is such a dare and people gonna think I'm cool or whatever goes through your head. But it's not worth risking your life over.
Well, that's the thing is, 50 view count increase in your little TikTok worth your life. Or in one case, in South America, there was a 13-year-old boy did the choke out challenge, and he is essentially clinically brain dead for the rest of his natural life at 13 years old. But hey, he got 50 views, but not that it's going to do him any good.
Yeah. I got.
Who of you two want to start, or do you wanna? Do you wanna
I don't mind
give us the? I would think the worst one, kinda.
Well, I was going to talk about
At
the
this point in time, we're just
planking
the
one
two
first,
dullards
but
of the group.
yeah, I was going to talk about the planking one first because it was good way of showing how throat's gone croaky. It was a good way of showing how what could be a hairball, what could be a pretty safe challenge, and it was the planking challenge where people were doing the plank, and in general, planking is not dangerous at all, but it was when it was taken
Quite
to the
beneficial.
extreme. And yeah, definitely, turning the muscles and things like that, giving you a nice washboard six-pack, whatever you want to call it. But no, there was an incident in 2011. A 20-year-old in Australia named Acton Beale. He watched a friend of his doing the planking challenge and decided he wanted to get in on it. So he started doing the planking challenge, but he decided to do it on the balcony of where they were, on the railing, and he fell off. He was on the 7th floor. Apparently he died instantly. So I don't know how true that is because I wasn't there, and that's only the information that I read. But apparently, soon after, the Australian police were so afraid of the increasing popularity of the challenge and how it was getting more and more extreme that they actually banned planking in public. So it would result you in if caught doing it, a hefty fine and arrest. But it's amazing how you can go from something quite simple and fun and beneficial health wise to what the fuck.
Literally have to pass legislation to keep people from doing it just because people have lost the ability to think.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So, I know you had one you want to share.
Yeah, there was one a while back when the internet was still roughly a new thing. It was I think it was like in the late 90s to early noughties, so 2000s. I call it noughties, right? Don't like get me. It was the slap/knockout challenge. It had a different name for different countries, where you would basically just go up to a random person and literally smack them in the head as
Oh,
hard
I
as you
heard
could
about
to knock
that.
them out.
Yeah.
I think they called that the
But
reboot.
No,
it
because you
changed
did
country to
slap.
country.
You slapped people.
Mm.
You slapped people.
Wasn't it
Oh,
happy
that's right.
slappers or something?
A boxing glove
Slap
Something like
challenge.
that.
and a cup of water.
Yeah.
And if you could
But
knock
it actually
someone
did
out,
end up with. It actually did end up with 2 fatalities, unfortunately, when they caught a woman leaving a movie theater, and she was about 6 months pregnant. They knocked her out, and when she fell, she hit her head on the
damn.
car. She ended up with
Oh,
severe
oh.
concussion, ended up passing away along with the child.
Fuck.
the
See,
bad
people,
I
thing
that's
don't
when
know
it
if they
goes
caught the
too
person that
fucking
done it.
far.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's so goddamn funny. You go up to a random person you've never ever fucking met and just do that? You don't know if that person is suffering from seizures or weak heart or whatever their
Yeah.
health condition or situation is. And you can go in for, unfortunately, a child is not considered a human until it's been outside of the womb, but otherwise that would be double homicide.
Mm-hmm. Heal?
Yes, sorry.
I would just want to say to anyone that would actually do that and sleep at night knowing what they've done, I think anyone here, including the audience and people watching at home, would agree with me that you are a sick fuck.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like here in the States, stuff like
Oh.
that, because I was taking off quite a lot here, and I think they actually had to pass some legislation on that too, because technically it's assault and battery.
Yeah.
You know,
It
there was
is.
a
Well,
lot
it's funny
of
actually.
people.
In the UK, back in the I can't remember if it was the late 80s or sort of late 80s, early 90s or something. It was the advert for Tango, and you actually had this on the advert. It actually showed it was trying to emphasize the slap of flavor that you get from Tango, and they had this big
Mm-hmm.
bold orange guy that would suddenly run on and slap you around the face, really, or slap this
Mhm.
person's face. You know when you've been tangoed, and that was the catchphrase. They actually banned that advert because people were copying it in the streets and things like that. So it just
Mhm.
makes you wonder why that kind of challenge would
That was the 90s.
raise its ugly head, sort of thing. It was the 90s, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, honey, I know you had one you wanted to share too.
Yes. This also retracts to the last recording that we did. It was the Kia challenge. Unfortunately, some people like to do the cha-cha slide with vehicles, and it actually caused an accident and a shooting that took a life of one person that was doing the cha-cha slide challenge with someone's Kia. Ended up getting arrested, but didn't end up that way, resisted arrest, and fatal shooting. The other
damn.
one is classified as vehicular manslaughter. It was actually, this happened up in New York. They were doing the cha-cha slide in the middle of all of this, ended up taking the car too much of a turn and sideswiped a elderly woman. Killed her on impact.
oh, for fuck.
If
Well,
you're
it was
gonna do the
sad too, so-
cha-cha, if you're gonna do the cha-cha challenge, do it as the goddamn dance that it is intended to be. Not a joyride
that's
where
the
you
thing.
potentially end up
or go to a
kill
drift comp.
someone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just find an open
Go to a
field.
drift.
Yeah, the drift park, field, whatever.
Just go to a safe area, a safe environment where you're not going to cause harm to
The
anybody.
thing
you
is,
know?
it's not even
It's a
that.
bit
It's
like
not
when
even the
people do-
drifting.
Mm.
It's the fact that they full speed on a public
Yeah.
road and just do that and that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay, Heel?
I'm fine. It's just every
Yeah,
day I
there's-
learn how more and more stupid people can be.
Well, especially with I mean,
You
almost
know?
everywhere you can find fields, you can find racetracks. It's not there was this one beautiful racetrack in Las Vegas when I lived in Las Vegas. $30 for all day long at the freaking main track there in Las Vegas, like IndyCar racetrack with the drag strips and everything. $30.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta bring your
And-
own vehicle and you gotta provide your own gas.
Well, another thing too is I was, along that lines that in fact I was reading on a news article where 4 people died in it is the drive while blindfolded.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
the
That's the
Bird
bird
Box
box
challenge.
challenge. Bird box,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was tempted to talk about that one, but I saw this one and it was like, yeah,
That was the one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also another one with cars. The car surfing challenge. I will say I had a high school, not buddy, but we went to the same class in high school. And this was not a car, but this was a train, because train surfing was also a big hit at one point. I was in the early 2000s, I think. And he train surfed all the time when he didn't get caught. On the side of the train, on top of the train. And one day he had a little bit to drink. He was not drunk. And his friends, as they always do, go inside the train and they take the ride with him. And when they got to the end station, they couldn't understand where he was because he usually just jumped down and just like, hey, I did it. This was his last day of train surfing. He hit a bridge the train was driving under and either fully or partially ripped off his head.
God damn.
He barely didn't even live till he was 18. He was just about to begin life.
Jesus.
So yeah,
Society's
please.
changed in different ways, but only the emotions of someone else's actions.
But literally, you take people that have been train surfing for who knows how long, and then like, oh well, we can't do that because we might risk getting electrocuted for some trains. So others like, hey, let's do the less dangerous one and car surf. Really? You know what? I'm gonna invent a new term. This is gonna be one where people are so stupid. You get 5 out of 5. Palm slap. Literally.
You know
5
what?
out
I
of
want to
5.
start a new hashtag. Don't be stupid. Hashtag don't be stupid.
5 palm
Well,
smacks.
the bad thing is the bulk of these challenges, of course, are being taken up by younger people. In fact, sometimes much younger people. But what is also amazing is how many older people have been people that you think would have been around the block a little bit, and have seen things that that's dangerous, and yet they still do this shit.
Wait to hear this one. Rosie, without further ado.
Birthdays.
Yes, this one is it's called the Blue Whale Challenge. There was, in the information I was reading on, there was lots of names of young people who died, or they actually committed suicide because of this challenge, or due to this challenge, I should say. But it was one in particular. In November 2015, a girl named Rena Palankova, if I've pronounced that name right, she took a selfie and posted it with the caption, Naya Bye. I don't know what country or language this is. It didn't give me that
Russia.
information.
Russia, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So, because I tried doing Google Translate on the text, and it said it was
Yeah.
Malay or something.
No, it's a Russian.
I wasn't
yeah.
sure. Like I say, it did sound Russian, but yeah, and after posting that, she took her own life. The police and family were baffled by her committing suicide, as they just could not believe that she would do that. It was like the family, knowing her, it just didn't seem in her character. I'm guessing because it didn't really go into any more detail about it, but I'm guessing it's bubbly, happy, whatever, so you wouldn't have thought that she would be suicidal. And it was after checking Rena's phone, they caught... Oh, hang on. Sorry, my notes have got all mixed up. Yeah, after checking their phone, they learned that she had been part of an online group involved in topics about suicide and blue whales, which was odd. But later, in 2016, it was found out to be a game created by so-called curators. The curators would assign a list of gruesome tasks to be completed to their online chat members, and the final task was to commit suicide.
Wasn't it in 50 days? One challenge every day or something?
Possibly. I didn't
Something
have that.
like that.
That it didn't go into great detail about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, they managed to catch the person responsible, and they were caught in November 2016. It was a man called, is it Philip Budaikin, a former psychology student. I might be pronouncing that name wrong, but something like that. Yeah, he admitted to being guilty of influencing people to kill themselves, contacting his targets via his 2013 game, and that had his name and phone number attached. Basically, he was charged with 2 counts, but felt no remorse for his actions. So it's one of these things where you've got this person influencing people to do stupid things, and then and the fact that they would actually follow on and commit suicide is sort of like, why? What
To be
what
fair,
would go
I
through your
don't even...
mind to...
Yeah, but the thing
Do
is, you
that.
don't know what kind of challenges that had gotten along the way.
Yeah,
There's nothing
yeah, I know.
specifying that.
No.
But I can only imagine what it has been for them. So they were literally degraded and broken so much that taking their own life was... Yeah.
The thing is, being a psychiatrist too, I mean, he would know how to get into people's head and literally just break them down.
Yeah.
I would
How
like
can
to see
people
that
do
twat
that?
hang from the gallows.
No,
Yeah.
literally, that's an easy way out. I don't care. People, for fuck's sake, whether it's a real challenge or not, don't go there. Okay, I'm gonna touch in on the subject. The Momo challenge. Yes, that was a national hoax, but parents and everybody around got into a mass hysteria because it was talked about in social media and such. So they were like immediately like, oh my god, I need to protect my kids. They went into overdrive to then find out that it was a hoax. That's how much you can influence people through the internet.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't know the power you can use once you get on it. Like the dark web, even, it's not a place for you. Don't go into that shit, okay? I'm sorry. 5 face palms. Okay? Out of 5. Stupidity at its greatest. I'm sorry. But when it costs people's lives, young ones, old ones, I'm gonna say it, I don't give a rat's ass. I don't give a shit. Stop it.
Hashtag don't be stupid.
If you have to
one
question
thing-
whether it's morally or socially right to do, then You really shouldn't be doing it. If you have to question whether it's going to hurt you, hurt someone else, or, then again, shouldn't be doing it.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Well, I think that's
Well,
one of the
there's
things
another
here is, for a lot of people out there, before you post something, especially on this, that could literally take someone's life, stop and think what you're doing. In fact, the car drive blind, they found out who that was and charged him with manslaughter for posting that.
Yep.
Bird
Stop
Box
and
challenge.
think what you're posting. No matter even if you think it's a joke, there's going to be people out there that will do it. I mean, you're talking to a global audience of every spectrum. And for everyone out there who's reading this stuff, stop and bloody well think. Use your brain a little bit and think, what is this? What are we doing? What's the possible outcome? Should I do it? Use your stupid brain. Ion.
Okay, that was weird. Anyways, there's currently another challenge happening here in Florida.
Mhm.
They called it the roundabout, where you see all those lifted trucks with the really big rims.
Yeah.
They have people sit in them and try to drive down a road.
To basically pull a Ralph Wiggum.
Pretty much, but the thing is that one, I've already seen it happen. A dumbass got his hand rolled over on. Excuse my French.
He was lucky.
And that ended real quickly. And I mean, it
I
ended
just-
real quickly. Just because of that.
What about all the kinetic energy you build up while spinning in a wheel? I mean, you could literally just be launched out of that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. He got launched out and his hand got rolled over.
Oh, damn.
Also, the fire challenge. Will you pull like pure alcohol or whatever you have that's flammable all over your
Flammable,
body,
yeah.
and then you just literally light yourself on fire? For fuck's sake, I
Yeah.
saw a kid do this with his two friends,
Well,
and he fled into the shower, and still then they couldn't put out the fire on some of his parts of his body.
Damn.
Why?
Yeah, 'cause it wouldn't, if they used an
They
oily
even do
base
it when
subject,
they're
the
drinking.
water wouldn't do anything.
Exactly.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. Involving alcohol, the eye drinking challenge. When you
Oh.
take a bottle of vodka, you put it to your eye, and yes, the eye will absorb it. Now, if you think
So it's
drinking
gonna
it was fast,
Fuck your eyes up.
No kidding.
Yeah. Not only are you gonna be drunk as fuck, but you also gonna be scarred for life. I'm not joking. Stop being stupid. 5 face palms. Okay? 5 out of 5.
Well, one thing too, because I know, even though is a lot of older people that should know better, but whatever happened to intelligence. But the bulk of these challenges are being taken up by younger people and stuff like that who are just brain dead to begin with. But you, as a parent, that have definitely taken a good active part in raising your daughter and stuff like that. What
Kudos.
advice would you give everyone who is raising children and have their children, exposed to this type of stuff?
My advice in simplicity is just you need to be aware of what your kids are looking at. Don't just go, here's a device, shut up. Have some kind of access
Not a
to that
nanny.
device. It's
Mhm.
we've got I mean, luckily with our devices, it's all linked because we've all got Apple devices, and it's all linked to my own Apple account. So I can track the devices, I can look everything up, I can see what's going on and things like that. I'm not doing it to be like a control freak, but it just happens to be easier that way. But even if I didn't have that kind of access through my own account, I would be saying, I'm sorry, but if you want this device, I have access to that. You know, I have the passcode and everything to get into that device, so I can see what's going on. I know you can download apps and things like that. That's a bit too techy in my mind. Not the downloading an app, it's the using the apps and how involved they are. But if you are techie minded, there are apps out there that you can download to their devices where you can, in a sense, spy on it. But I'm sorry, but don't be scared to have to spy on your kids' devices, or if anything, just be honest and upfront with them. I am going to look at your device. I am going to know everything that goes on with it. And if I find out you've got a secret device, I will find it, because you can do things like, because they'll have like Bluetooth connectivity. So if you start looking for Bluetooth devices on, and it suddenly pops up with another device that you don't know of, it's like, okay, what's that? You know that they're saying around. That's a simple way to find things. But in general, again, it's about being honest with your kids and talking to them and saying, look, I want to trust you. I am going to trust you, but, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it.
It also
Be
comes
their
down
parent,
to,
not their
just
friend.
like that. Exactly. You are the parent, they are the child. You are raising them to the point where they can take care of themselves. It's not. This isn't your buddy. You are a parent. Start being a parent. Well, another thing too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Be friendly with them.
Yeah.
And be a friend, but you also have to have that definitive. You do have to do as I say, but without it being like respect my.
Another thing too, there's a lot of these apps, that actually do have age requirements. You have to be a certain age to be on that. And for the parents, it's blatant stupidity that they will let their kids on these apps that are way too young to be on it. Ion?
I think Ion has something he wants.
Razi, I love you, and I understand that you love Apple, but you can't track an Android.
You can. There's devices to track them
Through Bluetooth.
Yes, but that's certain devices.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I know I've got a few people that have got Android devices, and they've actually got apps and things that they can track
That they can
other
all
devices.
Communication, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Because if you do not remember, I used to be on Apple team. And I sold my old phone to my ex-coworker, Brian. Love the dude. Chunky dude. But he failed to factory reset it, and he downloaded all of his stuff to my account.
Oh dear.
So to this day, I
Don't
can
continue
still
the story.
see everything that he does.
Don't. Just don't.
And no, I'm not going to go that far into it. But the
I
thing
know.
is that he turned on the, what was it? Find My iPhone tracker. So every time he starts to do that, it sends my phone into a sporadic notification ringing device.
Yes.
God forbid if he
And it
looks
can
at
be like-
porno.
Okay. Well, we
But also,
we got
I
the
was gonna
picture.
say,
We got the general picture about that. Okay. It's.
But
we
I'm
know
trying to
what's gonna happen.
go off that. But the thing is that as a teenager back in my day, and yes, I could say that with confidence because I'm 25, but
Hey!
oh shush, fish. I'll deep fry you.
Every day
But,
is going to remind us that he's the youngest out of us.
Mm-hmm. He's our puppy.
Get on with
He's
it,
a
or
Gucci
get
baby.
stabbed.
Well, I'm getting on with it. I'm getting on with it. But as my teenager self, I had more than one phone, and my parents tried to
Mhm.
track everything I did. But they failed to realize is that after a while, I had a collection of phones that they couldn't track, couldn't keep up with.
So yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this too is, especially as parents, stuff like that, be parents, be more active in what your children are doing. Stop and think about the situations, what's actually being said, and also stop and think about what you're posting, because not everyone's going to take it the same that you take it, even if you mean it as a joke, which I mean, I'm sorry, some of the stuff isn't funny. It's not. Even if you intended it as a joke, it's not funny. So stop and think before you do anything, no matter what it is, if you're posting or reading. Stop and think. You have a brain, try using it once in a while. Toki, do you have any final thoughts before we close out the show?
Say, like Ren said, use your brain, assess the situation. Is this something you want to go through with? And I think before I say thank you for tonight, we are going to go to, oh, Rossi, wise Rossi, share your wisdom. Oh, sad.
The secret to staying young. The secret to staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age.
My days.
Okay, you heard it here. You're not gonna hear it again. I promise you guys. Remember, we can't do this without you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I promise you, we read every comment we get, and we also do respond. Check out our Instagram, our TikTok, and we have a Discord as well. Please support us on our Patreon, and we have a couple of GoFundMe as well. Everything is in the link in the description below. So, again, thank you guys, even though this was a bit of a darker episode. But to all potato chips out there, before I say bye, thank you to our sponsor, lonepawcoffee.com. And to all of you out there, take care. Be safe. Don't be stupid. Bye. And
Bye.
Toodle and the pip.
Bye-bye.
Hashtag don't be stupid. And a tatty and a bye.
5 face palms.
Hi, Rossi here. Thanks for watching the show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, please sign up to our Patreon. Love ya. Toodle and the pip.
Potatoes.
He just fell off the table.